Girl, Jazzy. Easy. Good. Jazzy was an extreme leash puller, and through some engagement with her, we just have her where, let's go. Good. Where she's no longer issuing herself with correction. She's feeling more in tune with us. And this is not, again, natural for her. It will be over time, but she will revert back to what she does naturally. And with that, we just need her to be engaged with us. And just a couple exercises very quickly before we begin our walk. That's going to snap back that engagement. Easy. So we'll show some things here. Come on, baby. Let's go. Whereas if she gets out ahead of us, every time she's ever heard easy, she's felt some faint leash pressure. Easy. And now that she knows that, just saying it, I no longer have to utilize the lead. She gets out ahead a little bit. Let's go. Good. Easy. Good girls. Good girls. So she was actually hurting mom and mom's arm and shoulder and such, just from being, just with no guidance, just rushing and doing what she wanted to do and going and spelling in the directions that she went in. Again, a dog with the slip lead will pull all the time because this stimulation really isn't anything to them. It can actually hurt them, especially with flat collars and such, because it's pushing on their trachea. But you'll see dogs foaming and hacking. They just don't care. It's not enough. It's just a different type of stimulus. So when we begin doing the exercises and changing directions with them, they're actually issuing themselves a stern leash pop, which is different because it's a stimulation that it becomes unpleasant to them. And in time, what they do is they just realize that they look to us for the guidance, and they just change. They're better on the walk, and that engagement changes everything. It's us leading the walk with our guidance, and they just become happier dogs and better on the lead. How big is that? Let's go. Look. So you see my leash is completely loose. Let's go. Good girls. And this is where we need to be. This is a pleasurable walk. Leave it. She understands all of the commands that she'll know for the life of her. Obviously, if I'm telling her to leave it, I feel her in the lead. And what's very important is just knowing and communicating with our pup via the slip lead. I feel her entire body. I know if she's trembling, if she's cold, if she's scared, if she's not in position or where she needs to be. And she also feels my faint leash pressure techniques as well. Let's go. Look. Easy. The other important thing is that because I know where she is, I'm not hunkered over always wondering where my dog is, because when I do so, it's like I'm looking to her for guidance and she feeds off of that energy. I am more confident on the walk. I know where she is. I don't have to continue to look for her. I have her. And as she gets better and better, and she's just learning her heels today. Jazzy, heel. Good girls. There you have it. So she's learning the heel, and the heel command on the lead is even better. So if she's out too far on the wrong side, the heel will bring her in tight. Good girls. Let's go. Good. So with that being said, once she walks better, she's always near me unless I break during a free dog command, and then I'll allow her to go do the things that she wants to do. However, this engagement that we're together, there's not food necessarily involved on the walks. I may have it, but it's usually just verbal praise. Anytime a new behavior is introduced to a dog, regardless of the stage of learning they're in, it's always associated with food. Good girl, sit. Yes. Because they resort back to the F1 schedule of frequency. And that's just how behaviors are taught. So since the heel is new to her, Jazzy, heel. Good girls. Good girls. Good. Let's go. I'm going to actually switch to stimulus, and this is how they get it as well. When a dog learns the same behavior from multiple different sensations and stimuluses, it's like they speak a second language. It's a difference whether it's a regular collar, a flat collar, a martingale, a slip lead, e-collar work, dog whistles. All of these things are simply just communicating the same thing that they already know, okay? And when that's done, their brain expands and they really begin to learn and they really begin to get it. So the stimulus that she just felt on the easies, the let's goes, everything with the leash pressure, leave it. She wants to smell the leash. So with that being said, this is an entirely different sensation to her. She'll still hear the same commands, easy. It's not going to be the same because it's not applying the same stimulus that she once had. But the multiple different avenues, let's go. Good girl. Good girl. Let's go. Good girls. Easy. Boy. Good girls. Jazzy, heel. No. Break. Jazzy, heel. Yes. Break. Break. So again, really quick, I just want to get into the fact of how break her free dog command. Break. She's a puppy. She's building confidence every session that we do, and she's getting a lot better. The break command is always associated with food at the outset. I throw treats on the floor, indoors, outdoors. Break. I'm triggering a response in them to, when they hear the word break, that there's movement of some sort. You'll see me on the lead with them when I'm out walking. They'll hear break, and I'll throw the leash in the air and turn my back to them. Kind of triggering a sense that they're actually a free dog and I no longer need that engagement. All of this is really just preparation for when they really understand the behavior, and it's done through a form of free shaping. And what will happen is, and I wait for this purpose because she has to understand some things. She has to understand leave it and hear that on her walks and know what it means. Again, leave it is not a correction, more leave it. It is simply just a tap tap. It's basically just getting her engagement and she will know that I want her to leave it, because whatever she's focused on, she will get leave it. And just a couple quick pop pop as we walk. So, and obviously any dog owner is going to know when to utilize leave it, because we're walking and it's going to happen that she wants to chew bubble gum or a stick or something. And as we're going, we'll feel the lead and know that she's not here with us anymore and she's interested in something else. So it'll just be an automatic response to you. Leave it, and you'll just tap, tap, and she will automatically hear this throughout. So once she understands and can identify, Jazzy, heel, go girls. Once she can understand and identify with the leave it, what's going to happen is I charge the release word. I charge it. I keep throwing food. I throw the leash in the air when they break. They really don't get it at that point. All I'm doing is charging. So there's going to come a time throughout the sessions that I'm going to introduce an extremely valuable reward to her. It may be beef fizzle, it may be steak grizzle, it could be something of extreme value to her, and I'm going to place it somewhere. Let's say here by the corner of the sidewalk. And we're going to be walking, and I'm going to know where it is, and when we go by it, she's obviously going to try to get it, and she's going to hear leave it, and she's not going to be allowed to have it, right? So as we continue work in her engagement, it may be 20, 30 minutes. The entire time she's working, in her brain, she's saying to herself, I have to have it, I have to have it, I have to have it. And it's I'm charging it, I'm letting that build. And at a certain point, I will just give her her free dog command, and she will run for the reward. And the moment that she has it, we will see the light bulb illuminate, and we have free shape the free dog command. At that moment, she'll really get it. And it takes all of that. It's just how the doggy's brains work. Huh, babies? Break. So in the meantime, anytime you would see break, I'm throwing the lead, I'm throwing through, break. And it's just triggering a response to move that when I introduce that extremely high value reward, we finally free shape the free dog command, and it really works. That's very important, especially with e-collar conditioning, with place commands, that they know that they are a free dog. You'll see so much that dogs will work and they'll be thirsty and they will refrain from going and getting water because of the engagement. And when they hear break, they'll run and get water. Break didn't make them become thirsty. They've been wanting to get a drink. Break, at that moment, once you see them begin starting to go get water and such, they realize that they're a free dog. Let's go. Good girls. Let's go. Go on. Heel. Good girls. Break. 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 Jazzy, heel. Yes. Good girls. Break. Go ahead, heel. Yes. So, what's happening with Jazzy is she's beginning to really learn how we want that engagement. Her natural instinct of just being the leader and going and smelling and pulling us and having no focus on us whatsoever is slowly diminishing. And we're going to see on each session and each walk, and this is very important that the owner get involved as well. The most important aspect of all of this is how we leave the home. Okay, she doesn't have to do anything. She knows sit, she knows down, she knows all of these commands. She does not have to do any of them. With my dogs, as long as they can do anything that they want in the world except run through the door. Okay, so as long as she is always just at ease, she will receive an okay command. Okay, okay, and then she'll proceed through the door. You will see me at times give an okay command and she will revert back into her ways and just rush through the door, and I won't go anywhere, and I'll stop, I'll get lower, and she'll issue herself a correction. And it may be confusing to some, why give the dog an okay command when you then issue a correction? Okay is not essentially a free dog command. Okay is more or less a command to her that let's begin this journey. And it's very important that any time an occasion setter such as a lead, whether it's a long training lead, a slip lead, whatever we walk her with, that supersedes everything else she knows in her training, and she needs to behave a certain way on that lead at all times. So she will know at that point that okay isn't necessarily her break command, her free dog command. It's simply a release to begin this journey, and it's not simply on the walk. I'll utilize okay throughout her training, and she knows it is essentially a release, but she needs to know the difference that when this is on, different rules apply to her. Oh, baby girls. Good girls. Heel. Good. So, girls. Good girls. Break. Good girls. Jazzy. Spin. Yes. Good. Spin. Yes. Good babies. Spin. Yes. Good girl. So, so the most important thing is not rushing out of the door. Okay, again, they can do anything they want, they just can't rush through the door. That sets the tone for the entire engagement, for the entire walk. Our confidence, our body positioning, not worrying about where she is and always being hunkered over, looking at her. They sense this and then they automatically take the role of they're guiding us, and that is exactly the opposite of what we want. Okay, what I mean by making this become natural, just a couple sessions with her on the lead, you're going to see a huge change in her. And normally, doesn't matter the breed, the size, sometimes the tool will change, but the mechanics are all the same. By the second true session, I'm off leash walking with a dog that was once an extreme puller and hurting their owners, and a lot of times I'll have owners hand me their leash in tears, and it's really sad because the leash walking is a really pleasurable thing. Okay, so much so that we should be able now in 2022 to have our little earbuds in and be on the phone and just walking and not paying any attention to our dog whatsoever because we know where they are. And we're in command of the walk. When we're turning, we're not focusing and turning. We simply are making the moves that we're going to make because we know our dog is engaged and they're paying attention to us. Throughout training as well, I have them lose focus on my right leg, and everything at the outset begins on my left. We walk on my left, we heel to my left. In time with advanced obedience, we can switch into switch, and they switch back and forth. However, at the beginning, it's always the left. Jazzy, heel, good. And with that said, they're always engaged with us, so we're just simply making the moves that we're making. We're confident about it. Our head is up. We're not focused in on them, and they just feed off of that energy, and they know that we are in control, and we're guiding, and it lifts a huge weight from their shoulders. Even a breed like Jazzy, multiple breeds that are actually more like protectors, guardian dogs, whether it's a hunting dog, pointers, from healers to herding dogs. All of these different breeds have different characteristics. And what's happening is those take over. Fear takes over. Some dogs are very scared. They could be rescued and gone through some serious things where they have a lot of different emotions running through them, and when they're forced into a guiding position with us, they simply just don't make the right decisions. Similar to children, if we allow the children and the dogs to make the decisions, they're pretty much going to fail every time, especially so with dogs. Jazzy here? Yes. A little distracted recall. Dad just came out. Good girls. Break. Jazzy here. Good. Heel. Yes. So, with that being said, the moment that we provide that guidance for them, they change. They're a happy dog because that weight is off of them. That weight's off of their shoulders. They want nothing more than to be led. And that's why the basic obedience, the structure, them building the confidence and relying upon us changes the dogs. All my clients say, you know, even 3-4 sessions in, oh my God, it's a different dog, it's a different dog. It's not because I'm the best trainer in the world, although I'm very good. It's more because of the dog. They need it, and they change because they're given the guidance that they need and the structure they need. And this resorts back to instinctiveness through being happy. Yes. So, Jazzy, good. Yes. And so back to the engagement, right? So she's doing really well, and you will realize that even with me, if I'm gone for a week and I may come outside, I might come outside and realize that she'll resort back to what's natural to her, and that's just, you know, going off and smelling and being in control. The exercise that you're going to do, and it's not going to be anything dragged out like what I just did. We're talking a couple seconds. Could be a minute, could be 2 minutes. You're simply just going to go, change directions, tell her that you're changing directions by let's go. And if she's not paying attention to you, she's going to obviously be going in one direction. We've already turned and gone the other way. She's not engaged with us. And what's going to happen is that she's going to issue herself a leash pump because we're obviously going north and she's going south. And when that leash correction happens, we go and we continue to do it. It's very easy to realize when the engagement's there because Jazzy's going to tell us. The next time we change directions, we're going to go north, and she's going to anticipate that, listen to us, and now because of the engagement, the correction will not happen. She will anticipate our move, pay attention to us, and move with us so the correction doesn't happen. The moment she does that is when her praise is awarded. And it is extremely important, please not ever forget this, that dogs learn more from positive reinforcement than they ever will from any adversive that anyone can give them. Okay, so with that being said, when all our dogs are out on the walk and all they're hearing is, leave it, easy, easy, they're not being told when they're doing the right thing. And that is the most important part. The moment that Jazzy or any of dogs begin to be engaged with us and are doing what we want, we need to let them know that. And that's not necessarily done with touch, which is going to bring a higher anxiety from them. It's not done with food. It's simply verbal praise. She's going to know, okay, this is it, and she's going to snap into that engagement. This may need to be done every time we bring Jazzy outside. Again, it's not going to happen for the life of her, and it's not going to be a long, drawn-out thing. It's going to be very quick, but what's going to happen with consistency is the engagement will become the new behavior. It will become what is natural to her, and we'll never have to do it again. How big is it? That's not. Included with that changing direction, and I'll just give you an idea what it looks like, although she probably won't be getting corrected. Let's go. Good. She stopped that. Let's go. I'm changing direction, and she's not going the opposite way. Good. Because she's engaged, okay? And then you're ready to go. Let's proceed. We're ready to go on a walk. If it's happening and a correction is taking place, you continue to do that. You would also, a very good trick, is to begin making a pronounced turn in front of her, raising your left leg. Let's go. So we're walking in a direction, and I simply just turn and cut her off. And I turn in front of her. I will also walk into her. I'm not hurting her anyway, but as I'm moving and changing directions, I'm kind of just, again, cutting her path. And what ultimately happens is that the dog just gets tired of it. And they're like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Let me pay attention to this guy, and none of this is going to happen. And then the commands follow on our walks, and they really learn that we are in control, and again, the weight is lifted, and then the leash walking is fixed, and it's fixed for good. Jazzy here? Yes. A distracted recall. So that's just basically a video for the family here, so they can continue with the progress that she's making.